Number 56 is dealing with absolute value and essentially solving an inequality. So even though we have several variables involved, I'm just going to solve this like I normally would. So if I solve it like I normally would, where I have x minus c is greater than 2, I add my c over, I get x is greater than or equal to a 2 plus c. So if x is greater than that, that would mean it has to be going to the right. So that could be this one, or it could be choice K. So F, G, and H are not an option because I have to be bigger than 2 plus C. The issue is with absolute value, I need to remember that I can also take the absolute value of, say, a negative 5 and get a positive 5. It is not just the absolute value of a positive 5 that gives me 5. So I have to consider that when I solve it algebraically as well, which means what's in the absolute value could be the opposite. So the way to write the opposite would be I'd have a parenthesis, x minus c, and I'm taking the opposite of that because that is what is in the absolute value. Then I just solve it as I normally would. So easiest thing to do is to move this minus sign over by, say, a division of -1. So therefore, I'm going to have x minus c still here. But when I divide or multiply by a negative number, I have to remember that my inequality switches and goes the other way because I'm dividing by a negative number. Again, same rule applies when you multiply by a negative. Last thing to do is to add your c. So I'm going to have x is less than or equal to a -2, and I add my c to be a plus c. Looking at my options, I need to be less than that. That is option K.